Craiglockhart, an audio drama in 3 acts. Act 1, The Arrival.
Officers of His Majesty's Army, please welcome Dr. Ethan Drury.
As you may or may not be aware, and I ask that those who are familiar please bear with me, our purpose here at Craiglockhart is to make the shell-shocked soldier fit for reassignment to the trenches. These neurasthenic patients are a new phenomenon in the annals of war, their universal symptoms being a form of personal withdrawal, some patients being reduced to a childlike helplessness. Speech often becomes slow and halting, sometimes even stammers. Individual symptoms vary depending on the soldier's personal war trauma. Officers, please refer to the slide behind me. This patient, Lieutenant Howard Ashby, appears to be a healthy 23-year-old, physically, that is. Mentally, he seems incapable of communication and is dumb of language and reason. However, the very mention of the word bomb sends him scurrying for cover, often beneath his hospital bed, or in one instance, under the skirts of nurses. Levity aside, we are proceeding with a therapeutic course of reteaching him basic skills: weaving, sewing, then farming, later marching, carrying a gun, and eventually shooting it again. All in hopes of transitioning this soldier back to the battlefield where he belongs. We consider this temporary feminine recuperation, weaving, sewing, an essential element in their return to masculine combat status. We are combining these therapies with the talking cure. Simply put, the talking cure is the analysis of their dream lives using the techniques of Dr. Sigmund Freud, while energetically repudiating his more idiosyncratic theses. It has been my observation most are not, as Dr. Freud postulates, repressing sexual urges, but rather are reacting to their natural fears pertaining to their personal war experiences. I realize this is a radical proposal, but I hold to this principle. Shell shock is a very real illness. Gentlemen, I have hundreds of neurasthenic patients under my care, and my statistics do not lie. I have a 75% recovery rate. 75%. Those are fully recovered and sound men back on the battlefield. Sound men with purpose and no reluctance to carry out the orders they must fulfill. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wish me luck and pray God speed us to a quick and decisive victory. Down with the Kaiser, and God save the King. So, how's your weaving coming along? Second Lieutenant BRIDGLAND, your weaving?
Very well, I suppose. I've become fixated on a particular basket and don't seem to know when to stop. I'm afraid it will grow as large as 15 feet.
Are you finding it therapeutic? Your facial tic hasn't seemed to slow or dissipate. Do you feel it's doing you any good?
Oh, yes. I think so. Maybe if I were given more time.
And what of your dreams? Do you still see the dead walking through Piccadilly?
No. I think I'm much better. I no longer dream of the war. I dream of more simple things. Motor car accidents and such.
Your ward attendant reported you awoke screaming last night of corpses walking amongst the sleeping. Is that correct?
No. No.
But why would your ward attendant fabricate such a statement?
I wouldn't know. Doctor, is it true you are using electricity on your patients?
Only on the most extreme cases. The ones who do not respond to the talking cure.
Huh.
Please, Second Lieutenant, you needn't worry. I won't be using electricity on you. The talking cure will have the desired effect. I can promise you that. We must come to a solution to your internal conflicts rather than simply put an end to their physical manifestations. The use of electricity might make you functional, but it won't cure you, and curing you is what we want, is it not?
Yes, Doctor. I do not believe I could handle the shock treatments.
He's escaping!
Oh!
God, get away! Get away!
What are you, incompetent? Get this man out of here! Grab hold of him!
Oh, sorry, Dr. Drury. Sorry, this won't happen again.
It's fine, Arthur. He's gone. You can come out now.
Who was that man?
That man is Second Lieutenant David Allister. He is a new patient of mine.
My God. His face.
We all must make sacrifices. For his, he received the Military Cross for gallantry.
He must be a brave man.
Some people might think so. Some people. Would you?
Of course. But why is he being escorted here by the military police?
Obviously, he didn't want to come. Second Lieutenant Allister, Dr. Ethan Drury. I'm head physician here at Craiglockhart. Pleasure's mine.
Yes, we met yesterday, briefly, when I arrived with my escort.
Yes, a rather dramatic entrance you made. So, how was your first night?
Can't complain. Comfortable bed. Great improvement over the trenches. But tell me something, good doctor. Why is it I have my own room? I couldn't help but notice my compatriots are confined 3 to a room. Curious, don't you think? Am I in line for promotion? I deserve it after all I've been through.
No, I'm afraid I do not see a promotion in your future. You've been sent here for your convalescence. You are in deep need of psychotherapy.
It's my convalescent. We both know I am here. And I think it foolish for us, not even worse, boring for us to pretend otherwise. It was my letter that sent me here.
Your letter?
Oh, please. Yes, my letter. I believe they published it in the Times. Bit hard to miss or avoid.
Yes, I've heard of your letter.
Only heard. You haven't read it? Pity. It's such excellent prose style. So what is it then, Doctor? If I protest the war, then I am insane. So they send me to a sanitarium for my convalescence. For my own good and that of England. I must be converted from my pacifist era to a conventional attitude.
If you want to leave, then all you need to do is recant your statement and I can send you back to London.
No. I will not be doing that. I'm afraid my convalescence will be for the rest of my life. Besides, what would you think if I said I preferred it here? I would rather be here in Doltyville, where I'm a celebrity, than back in London, where I'm simply the freak who gave his all for the cause.
You needn't be the freak, as you call it. You could still make a productive life. You could be a writer with your education, a scholar. Politics, obviously. Even a family man.
A family man? What woman would have me? And what productive life would you have me lead? You've seen my uncovered face. My future is a cloistered existence.
May I see them now?
My scars? Of course. But you know it cost a sixpence.
You're not in a sideshow here.
Really? Come closer for a better look. And... ta-da! My scars. Beautiful, aren't they? Little shrapnel goes a very long way.
You can put your kerchief back on now, Second Lieutenant. You know you'll have to remain covered in the presence of the other officers.
But in the presence of enlisted men, not necessary.
Please put your kerchief back.
There. Better. So, who's the screamer?
The screamer?
Yes, the screamer, the one who yells all night long. What's his problem?
There are many screamers, as you call them, here at Craiglockhart.
I prefer Naughtyville.
These men have served. They've all seen horrors.
I don't doubt that. I've been in the trenches, but you don't hear me screaming. I felt what was left of my face in my hands, and I didn't scream then either.
You should show more compassion, Allister.
Oh. Should I?
So, I take it that you do not have nightmares about the war?
One could almost say the war was a nightmare in itself.
What is it that you dream about?
Dream analyses won't work on a man who doesn't dream.
You don't dream? But we all must dream.
All except me, Doctor. All except me.
Okay, Allister. The Commons area is for all, and that means good behavior. By all, for all. I will not stand for any of your antics.
Oh my God. What's this mess about? Are they all weaving?
Yes, it's part of the rehabilitation. Weaving. The repetitive actions serve to calm the soldiers. You'll come to love it. It's quite therapeutic.
What? Weaving is going to make me rethink the war. You're quite right. Just being close to my fellow basket weavers, I can feel the therapy dissipating my wrong-headed views. Why, if Fritz was standing where you are, Doctor, I could cut him in half and go right back to my weaving without the faintest care. I see it now. I've been mistaken with these fantasies about this unnecessary carnage. Let's pile the corpses up, boys.
Very good, Second Lieutenant. I wouldn't want to be disappointed in your initial behavior. It's more of a challenge this way. Now, if you would please indulge me.
So what's after this, Doctor? Sewing, farming, then carrying a gun, relearning to shoot it. Feminine to masculine recuperation. That's how it goes, correct? It sounds like nonsense to me, but yeah, I'm no doctor.
So, you've read my book.
Yeah, it's a terribly tedious trip up from London, but I'm afraid my military police companions weren't very good conversationalists. So yes, I read your book.
Then you know what happens if this therapy fails, don't you?
I believe so, yes. You strap me in and throw the switch.
And we can't take that chance, can we? So I'll be seeing you at 1600 hours. Intensive talk therapy.
With bated breath.
And Allister.
Yes.
Kerchief stays on. 1600 hours.
It rarely works, you know.
What rarely works?
The electric shocks.
Do I make you nervous?
No. I've seen worse.
Really? Do I dare remove my kerchief?
Well, you forget. I've already seen your face.
When?
It fell off during your scuffle with the military police.
That was you who jumped behind the couch, crying and whimpering. Sorry. I'm an ass sometimes. So, is that why you have the tic? Electric shocks?
No. Dr. Drury says it's because I bayoneted Fritz in the mouth.
Is that all?
Then a shell hit and blew Lieutenant Kroger to pieces and buried me for 4 days. Fritz laid in front of me with my bayonet in his mouth, bleeding to death. 4 days until they found me.
You're the screamer, aren't you? Look, I'm sorry for you, old boy. It looks like you're coming along, though. And your basket looks outstanding, and at least you're not twitching like some of the others. You only have the stammer, you'll be all right.
I used to twitch, too.
So, tell me about these electric shocks. They gave them to you.
No, I've just seen what they do to people. They stop twitching. Sometimes. Sometimes they get worse. Dr. Drury said that you received the Military Cross for gallantry. Why don't you wear it? I would, if they had given one to me.
I threw it off the transport into the channel.
Why would you ever do that?
Because I didn't do anything any other man wouldn't have done except lose my face.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry for me. Don't be sorry for yourself, or anyone for that matter. You've done just as much, I'm sure. Wounds to the body, wounds to the soul.
Yes. Once, I almost didn't get my gas mask on in time. Then I turned, and the man beside me, he didn't. It looked like he was drowning in a green sea, scratching at his throat. It was god-awful.
Oh, I can beat that. I spent 2 months with the arm of my best friend Lawrence protruding from the wall of a trench. I used to hang my canteen there. You get used to anything after a while.
You used to hang your canteen on your dead friend's arm.
If it were the other way around, he'd have done the same. Oh, Larry. He had a great sense of humor.
Oh, that's sick.
Maybe. So he's being buried alive in a trench at the ripe old age of 22.
Tomorrow is Visitors' Day. Anyone coming to see you?
Good God, I hope not.
Well, my sister's coming.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What does she look like? Is she pretty?
What do you mean by that?
Is she married?
No.
Engaged?
Was. He died.
So, what you're trying to say is that she's eligible. And I've so been in the market for a bride. Now that my brother's gone, it's up to me to keep the family name going. So, what do you think? A girl like your sister and a man such as myself? Oh, but BRIDGLAND, what about my manly needs? I'm only 25. Is it a lifetime of blind prostitutes for me?
I don't know.
I'm afraid everyone must make sacrifices in our hour of national need. Your sister is not exempt.
But she...
Oh, blast! Look at the hour. It's time for my very first talking cure session with Dr. Drury. This should be most amusing.
Oh, Lucy, I'm so glad you came. It helps me forget this place. Tell me, what's happening in London?
Well, the Zeppelin tried to bomb Woolwich again on Monday. It missed and blew up a church next door instead.
I'm surprised there's anything left around the factory, what with the Kaiser trying to blow it up every day. He'd be happy if there were no more bombs to kill his men with.
You should thank your sister for her contribution to the war. Without her, they wouldn't be trying to fix you up and send you back. I should hope he hits the place next time.
Don't say that, Luce. You know that if they fix me up, that nothing will happen to me. Someone has to take care of you.
You know, on the train up here, I saw this woman counting the tips of her fingers over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People were pointing at her, giggling. Then her husband stood up and asked that people not make fun of his wife. She had lost all 5 of her sons. Can you even imagine? All 5. I don't want to be that woman, Arthur. You stay here. Make them think you are insane. The war will be over soon.
It's okay, Lucy. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen to me. You've got to know that. God couldn't take all of us. You should... What happened to your hands? They're all yellow.
Oh, it's nothing. It happens to all of us at the factory. Some dye we use.
You know, I think it's insanity for you to work in a munitions plant. Women's suffrage or not. You come from a good family. You shouldn't be risking your life. I've heard about the explosions there.
This war is a terrible price to pay for women to get the chance to prove their worth to this country, but they'll have to give us the vote after what we've done for England.
You're beginning to sound like one of those pamphlets you hand out on street corners. Be careful, Lucy. You'll scare all the men away.
Listen to you. Scare the men away. Scare the men away. What men? They're either dead or...
Damaged.
You know that's not what I meant. I've read David Allister is here. Have you met him?
Yes, do you know him?
Of course not. Only of him.
Of him?
I can't believe you haven't heard of him. Mr. Lee Smith, the MP, wrote about him in the Times. They must keep everything from you up here. Second Lieutenant Allister wrote a protest letter against the war. It's all the rage with the pacifists in Parliament. A decorated and injured soldier condemns the war. What a victory. Why do you think he is here with you? It's all political. He protests the war, so they say he's insane. The War Office is so devious.
What a bastard. I can't believe they put him here amongst real soldiers. That phony bastard.
Phony? If David Allister is not a real soldier, then I don't know what is. My God, he's decorated. Medal of Gallantry. After all you've been through, I don't see how you can be angry with him. He speaks for you.
Speaks for me? He speaks for me?
Yes, for you and all these men.
Forget it. It's nothing you'd understand, being a woman.
Being a woman? Arthur, really? I thought I taught you better.
Oh, it makes me sick I even spoke with him.
2 minutes.
He didn't want me to tell you this, but I think you should know. Father was forced to sell the summer house. The war has all but ruined us.
We'll get another.
Do you remember that time you and Philip buried me in the sand? And I called out for Mother to rescue me? You came back after Philip ran away and you saved me. You told me he made you do it.
Yes. They were great times, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Visitation is over.
I guess that's my cue. Arthur, I'm afraid I'm going to miss my visit next month. I have a rally to attend and it falls on Visitors' Day. Forgive me.
Can't you miss it? What if they send me back before the next time you can come?
Well, that's what I'm afraid of. Just tell them you are too sick. Scream a little for them. Twitch a little more. Promise me you'll wait for me.
Oh, Lucy, you know that's not possible.
Ma'am, it's time to go.
I'm going. Wait here until the war is over. Promise? It won't last much longer. Can't possibly last much longer. Can't.
They've been saying that for years.
At least wait until the next time I come. Promise me. Wait until then. Promise.
Please make room for the next group of visitors.
I promise.
Please
Thank you,
make
Arthur.
room.
Thank you.
That's your sister.
Have you been watching us?
The whole time. Let's say she's a fine specimen.
You, sir, are a phony and a coward. My sister told me all about you. How could you? How could you protest the war? Betray all the men who fought and died with you, who are out there fighting and dying right now. How could you?
Betray you? Oh, please. You should be thanking me instead.
Thanking you?
What do you think I wrote the damn letter for? I want to see an end to this insanity. I know that letter will do nothing to stop the war. They'll keep piling up the bodies until one side or the other cracks, but I felt I had to do something. Someone did.
What, be a puppet of the pacifists?
That was incidental. I never wanted to become their cause. I have no respect for Mr. Lee Smith and his lot. They were never soldiers. But you have to understand, I wrote it because of the soldiers I've seen suffering needlessly on the front and the suffering of their loved ones here at home. Suffering like your sister's suffering. It's all over her face. The pain.
You leave my sister out of this. She has lost one brother and her fiancé, and has seen her one surviving brother committed to an asylum because they served their country bravely. She doesn't need you, sir, hiding out here like a coward, writing anti-war rubbish in her good name.
Visitor for Second Lieutenant Allister.
Hey, Christ.
David, stop right there. I know that's you. Turn. You should have known I'd come as soon as your doctor would allow.
I was hoping that it would be longer, Mother.
Sit. Now listen to me. You have to stop this nonsense, David. I want you to write a retraction. Write a retraction and they'll let you go. Be sensible.
Just where would I go, Mother? A home for the blind, maybe?
And why would you want to go to a home for the blind, dear?
Why would you think, Mother? I know I'd be more comfortable there.
Well, why aren't you wearing your medal?
They threw it away. Just tin and ribbon.
You should be proud of what you've done. You are a hero and nothing less.
You do not know me anymore.
I know you've seen horrible things and that you are upset, but you need to forget. David, write a retraction and they'll say you've been cured. You can return with me to London and live the life you are supposed to lead. I've been reading about these French sculptors who can fashion a face from an old photograph. We will hire one to come over and remake your face. I'm told they are quite lifelike. You wouldn't feel the need to hide anymore. You could go out, see and be seen by others. Think about it, David. You could have your old life back. You could be out fox hunting with your old pals.
All of my old pals are dead, Mother. Besides, I refuse to participate in blood sport. It's against my principles. Fritz? Yes. Foxes? No.
David, be serious. I've worried about you since the day you left for the front. I prayed God would bring you back to me. If you want to be angry with me, for it was my prayers that sent you back this way. But please, darling, don't torture yourself. Take advantage of your position to live out your life to its fullest. Your brother wants you to know he agrees with me.
Wilfred's dead, Mother. He was killed at Gallipoli over a year ago.
I'm quite aware of that, David. But I'll have you know that I speak regularly with him through seance.
Now, I want you to explain to me why you are the one visiting me and not the other way around.
You know you're not nearly as witty as you think. Your joke was obvious and clumsy.
Mother, Wilfred is gone from this world.
Really? Then explain this.
It's a photo of you.
That's right. And what's this?
What's what?
That spot above me. What's that?
I don't know. Some kind of mar on the photo negative? What do you think it is?
It's your brother, Wilfred. It's his spirit. He's always close to me, I know it. Who loved him more in this world?
You haven't shared this with anyone else, have you, Mother?
What do you think? They'll pack me away? Well, I'm sure you'd be happy to hear that none other than Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself speaks regularly with his deceased son.
And has he announced this publicly? He must not care what people think.
David, I demand you take me seriously.
You're right. It is wrong for me to make light of your grief.
This is not some manifestation of my grief, and I resent you thinking so.
Mother, go home.
I won't. Not without my son. I've already spoken with this Dr. Drury, and I told him that I would get a retraction out of you. He says that that's all the War Office would need to set you free.
And what about these men here? Are the ones out there fighting Fritz day after day? What about them? Who's going to set them free? Who, Mother? Who? No one. That's who. I will not go back on my word.
Don't do this to yourself. You're not the martyr type, David.
Forget it, Mother. This is all just a dream of yours. It won't happen. I will never go back on my word. Go home. Go back to London, to Kent, go anywhere, but do not stay here if you're going to ask me that again.
David, please.
If you won't leave, then I will.
David, come back here.
Say, you there. Stutterer. Screamer. Your sister works at Woolwich.
Yes? She's a suffragette. She is working there to help organize.
She's a canary, Arthur. She won't make it to the end of the war.
What do you mean she's a canary?
Look at her. She works at Woolwich. She has the cough. Her hands are yellow. Her ginger hair. My God. Don't you read? She has TNT poisoning. She won't live if she doesn't quit. She may already be barren. Who's to know? You have a better chance of surviving back in France than she is in London.
How do you know this? How can you be so sure?
The government censors keep these kinds of things hushed up.
Stop it. I will not listen to more of your lies and distortions.
Do you have another explanation for her appearance?
She says it's some dye that she works with.
She's lying. She knows what it is. She's just protecting you. You need to take leave from this dungeon and go to her. Convince her to stop working there. Go to Drury. See what you can do.
What do you care? How does this fit in with your sick views?
I just don't want to see your sister, another innocent, lost to the war.
Oh, save the speeches, you coward!
Quiet. You'll attract the orderlies.
I can't believe I am even considering this.
Now you listen to me. You had better go to her or it will cost your sister her life. Go to Drury, get leave, or she will surely die. Don't let my face confuse you. I am no monster.
Craiglockhart was written and directed by Frank Hudec. Produced by James Fowler and Frank Hudec. Edited by James Fowler. Music by Andre Gravel. Casting by Gregory Wolfe. The cast: Nicholas Few as David Allister, Michael Frederic as Arthur Bridgeland, Jenna Krasowski as Lucy Bridgeland, Shauna Bloom as Martha Allister, Rick Walter as Dr. Ethan Drury. Additional voices by Gregory Wolfe and James Wolfe. Voiceover by Jason B. Lucas. Craiglockhart was cast, rehearsed, and recorded entirely over the internet during New York City's COVID-19 quarantine in the spring of 2020.